Hi you guys, it's the most wonderful time for Stitchers. It's WIP parade season, and as you know, I don't post English and German videos anymore, but I really try to do the English WIP parade for all the international viewers. So yay! This goes along with my Stitch finale, it's a challenge that I do every year for everybody free to join on YouTube and Instagram. We are pulling out all of our WIPs at the end of the year. We are working on them for a certain amount of stitches. You can freely choose what you want to do with it. The thought behind it is just to pull everything out that we have, get an overview of our stash. No, not the stash, of the WIPs. Stash is a bit too much. And yeah, just put some stitches in, get a feeling for WIPs, and maybe spark the excitement for some older WIPs. I like to then make plans to work on them at the beginning of the coming year, so I don't put them back in their bags and forget about them again. They just need a little bit love as much as our newest starts do. I have 26 WIPs. I have some finishes I want to show you, but I think I showed most of them. I have some mystery secret starts that I didn't even show yet on Instagram. Maybe by now, when this gets posted, you've seen them, but at this moment, I haven't showed them to anyone. So, yeah, you will see progress before and after and everything, all of the fun. Please join if you want to, maybe not now, next year. This is really fun. We're all posting or what we want to work on. Everybody makes like collages of all of their WIPs, and it's super fun to see everybody work on their projects and like tweak their stitch finale rules. It's just the thought that counts. You can just basically do anything you like. Some people have like 50 WIPs, they can't work on all of their WIPs. Maybe you can pick like 20 of your oldest or newest or anything, any way you want, or the ones that you want to work on next year, so you get prepared and pull them all out and sort through them. For me, you can also adjust how much you want to stitch. Some people do like 2000 on each of their WIPs, or some people do just 100 on each of them. Just do your thing. And yeah, let's go and start with my WIPs. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. So before we start, this is my lineup. So I've recently had some finishes. I have 26 WIPs right now. These are from 2019. This is my oldest WIP. It's a Chatelaine, and these are 2020. These are like 2022, 3. Those are way more recent from here on. I think this is 2023, 4. And from here on are all new starts from this year, 2025. All of those. I've had some finishes recently, and I'm going through all of them with you now. So we are at 26 now. This is my medieval town mandala from Chatelaine. I started it in 2019, and I've not worked on this year nor last year, just for Stitch Finale, but I don't have any plans on finishing it because I just want to enjoy the journey. So this is where I'm starting. Look at this! These are 700 stitches! After frogging, I had to frog quite a bit, and I feel like I should make some progress now. I finally decided on the colors that I want to use for the flowers in here. I'm doing a slight color conversion of this piece because the purples and the greens were a bit too pale for my taste. I wanted to be a bit more fresh and bright. So I had to try some pinks and I didn't like them, so I had to frog and frog again. And I also don't really like the yellow in here, so I will still have to decide what I want to do here. But finally, I have the pinks that I want to use for the flowers. And that gave me such a motivational boost because I finally know what I want to do. And now I have a different opinion, what I said in the first place. I want to at least get to the next step. So I've planned 1,000 crosses for this for January, because I feel like since I started this in 2019, I'm like stuck on this very center piece, and it's time for me to move on. And now I have the motivation. Now I know which colors I want to use. It's really hard for me to put this down right now. I really want to keep going, but if I want to continue with the Stitch Finale challenge, I really have to stop now and go to the next project. I will take you with me for a little close up of all the specialty stitches. I'm very much a newbie in this space. I haven't done any of these before, but I tried my best and watched some YouTube videos for help. So these are just satin stitches, like long stitches up here, and I added one piece of light pink because I wanted to tie this all together. I don't really like the back stitches around this one. Are these Algerian eyelets? This is an eyelet of some kind. You just stitch in each little hole and pull really tight, and then the middle opens that way, and in the end she wants to do backstitch outside. So they are not super hard, but it takes practice to make them look really nice, which I think they don't look perfect yet, but it's okay. This is a learning process. Now, these are, I think, rice stitches. This is like a big X in the middle over like 4 little strands of fabric, and then you make like a little half stitch over each of the legs and another half stitch over the little tippies of the leg, so you get these. I love those stitches. They are very easy to do and they look really, really nice. Yeah, these are all cross stitches. These are, I forgot what those are. Are those the eyelets? I don't know. They are, I never really know when to stop. If I want to stop, sometimes it's looking better if I do like the first stitch again, or sometimes it doesn't look good and I just leave it. That's why they look a bit different. Also, I still don't really know why some are more open than others. Maybe I skipped a step somewhere. That could be a reason, because it's like very tiny. So here you can see, but these were the first that I did. Some of them look more open than others, but in the end I don't think it matters because there are going to be beads put inside here. This is all a color conversion. This green is different, the rose pinks are different. This is the original, this is all different. The background is different, and I think it's clashing a bit between those colors. Anticipating to switch this color into a bit more dark red brick color instead of the bright orange brick color. I think there are bricks that look a bit more rosy, burgundy-ish, that could match a bit better. But I don't know. I think I want to go on a bit further to see, and in the end make changes here. Also, I'm thinking maybe I want to use this very pale blue that almost looks white as the flowers in here, maybe, because I don't think the roses will look as good. Not sure, but I want to continue on. So I think those were all the specialty stitches that I can show you. Oh yeah, these are okay, let me focus. These are just half stitches here, but those are diamond stitches, but only in the edges of these. They're basically just like a straight stitch into each hole, you can see, and you have to pull really tight to open this hole up. And they're pretty easy, but the thing is, in the instructions, Martina says to do the backstitch around the flower bed at the beginning. So you first stitch the blue outline, then you do the backstitch with the gold, and then you fill those flower beds in. But when I pulled those stitches for the corners, they got a little bit tight. They were pushed together. And so the backstitch got a bit loose like this. It got pretty loose. It doesn't look as good now. So I have to pull it from the back. And maybe next time I would do the backstitch around at the end. Very good start. And next project. You all know her. We all love her. It's Gamer by Gecko Rouge. I'm so sad that the new Medusa patterns are not charted from Gecko Rouge anymore. I'm not interested in stitching those, but that's a whole other story. So with Gamer, in the past 2 or 3 years, I had a challenge to stitch every month on this, and it kind of burnt me out with the project. I still love it, and I also don't really want it to end. I don't want it to end. I want to keep showing this to you, and so it kind of killed my motivation to work on it. I don't know how it is. I think I didn't work since the beginning of this year. So for almost a year, I haven't touched this project. Oh, actually, I did 4,000 or 5,000 crosses this year. This is the before. And this is after 200 crosses. You don't really see it on full coverage. I added some stitches up here. I think I added some black somewhere here and some light stitches in here. Yeah, it's super difficult to see, but I didn't really change my mind about this project right now. It was fun to do. I could have stitched way more on this. Maybe I can try and incorporate it into another challenge where I pick it up once or twice a year. Yeah, well, so I wanted to stitch on this. This is Teresa Wensler's The Castle. I changed the colors. This is also a project that I only pick up once a year for the stitch finale. And I also have no plans to finish this too quickly. But as you maybe can see, this is a coffee stain. I just spilled coffee over this. I rinsed it with cold water, and I will now let it soak with some baking soda and dish soap. Things I read on the internet to save this. I think it won't be too bad. It was just from my coffee maker. I carried the coffee maker to pour into my cup, and some like condensed water spilled over it with a little bit of coffee, so it was pretty thin. This is from 2020, so it's 5 years old, just additional information. Finally, my update for the castle. It's all washed and clean now again. The coffee stain was fully removed just with dish soap. Who would have thought that? Yeah, these are actually worth 200 crosses. I count backstitch like 2 stitches of 1 cross. And I filled the wings in, and I was skeptical at first, and after the first stitches, I wasn't really sure how much I want to work on it this year, but I couldn't stop myself once I got back to it. It was so much fun to do. I wish I could fill in more of this castle. It was the first time using the green tones in here. I want to continue on everything besides the ones that but yeah, that was fun. 400 crosses. This is project number 4 out of 26. This is Luna Witch by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I tried to finish her in my small finishing challenge, but figured out that this is actually not a small project. But I managed to do lots of stitches. I don't know, it's like 5,000 stitches I put into her. I'm super happy about the progress. I'm super happy about my color changes. Initially, this was brown trees and an orange cape, and I totally changed that around. It's stitched on 16 count Ada, which I absolutely enjoy stitching on, but only with DMC. And this is a fabric by XJU Design, which I purchased a long time ago. And I can't wait to finish it this year. This is definitely a finish plan. I'm trying to figure out if I can, maybe for projects like my Chatelaine, for projects that I want serious progress for. I don't know if that works, but maybe I can do WIP Go again, only for them, and have like 2 WIP Go projects a month. I really enjoy doing WIP Go, but this only works if I don't really have anything else, because I need freedom to stitch what I want. But at the same time, I tend to forget my older projects. Maybe I just make the plans, and if they annoy me, I just skip them, like I usually do. But yeah, this is before I added the hat and those sleeves, and I tried to count towards the top to start the head of the iron gate that's going around here. But yeah, that's the update. I just set up a WIP Go board from my previous idea, how to get work on this project during the year. And I will try to pick only a few WIPs that I want to make serious progress on this year and put that onto the board. So I don't have a challenge where I have to pick them up every month or so. I think that would be too much for me. That didn't work out with Gamer very well. This is the mini gypsy firefly from a company that I don't support anymore. So I won't say their name probably. I will still note it on Instagram probably. But you all know it's Amy Stewart. Who am I kidding? Yeah, and what do I say? This is 28 count tent stitch. And I really need some progress into this piece. I've been thinking about this piece a lot lately and how I really want to make progress and to start seeing some part of the wagon and not only stitch background. But I mean, this is like 2021, from 2021. So it should have more progress. It really should have more progress. And I have another issue because I still have, look at these colors, but these are all Max flosses and some are CXC, and I stopped using CXC because it's just too fluffy for my taste. I don't like it. I like my stitches to lie nicely and they're just too fluffy. So I'm thinking maybe I will have to replace them. I think this project is the most unorganized project that I have. And when I started, I think is it even, no, it must be 2022. Yeah, it must be 2022. Yeah, never mind. But it's pretty unorganized. And I don't have any floss card for this. Do I? Oh, I do. I do have floss cards. Oh, there you are. Oh, I made those handmade thick ones. Oh, they're actually so pretty. Now, the issue is that now I know that Max Floss is super nice to stitch with, but it has color issues with some dark colors. Like 3371 is too dark, and the 500 green is a little bit too bright, and it will make a difference in this instance. So I will have to change some colors to DMC and probably go through all of the colors maybe later once they come. I don't know yet. And check them if they are true to the DMC colors, so the image will look like intended, like charted. Yeah, so I've been replacing some of the green. You can see some leftovers here. This is the Max DMC 500, and below I replaced the DMC 500. So yeah, that's been the issue here. It was too bright and therefore the shading didn't really work. Yeah, I'm really trying to get a page finish on this in 2026. So I will put this on my Progress WIP Go board. 200 crosses, 200, like one half cross only counts as one cross. So I might have to double. Let's see how I like it and my thoughts I have on it on this project. And those are 400 stitches on this project. I filled in this corner right here. I almost started it from the beginning. I almost restarted it on my new favorite fabric that I told you about on the Congress cloth. But last minute decided I think I need my projects to be on different fabrics. I need the variety. I have now plenty of projects on that same fabric. And so I stuck with this one. I have put in quite some stitches, but you know, it's always a bit suspicious when you have a project for some years and you don't really want to stitch on it during the year. I will now keep going on this. This is on the 28 count. It's pretty bulky, but it was okay. It's fun, and I think on the bigger project, on the bigger fabric, it would be really big. This is actually a cut of the full-size Gypsy Firefly. I realized I was thinking it was the mini, but this is actually the full size, and I just cut away some parts on the outside, so I'm not stitching the whole thing, but it's still pretty big. Yeah, so a smaller fabric is better. I'm thinking I want to try the DMC 25 count that I used for the Gecko Rouge Gamer Kit. They switched fabrics one day, but I really like the 25 count by DMC. I'm looking into getting some yards there, and maybe even for the shop. This is The Sandman by Gecko Rouge. I know the author has had some, they're not allegations anymore. I think we're pretty certain what he did now, and it's pretty disgusting. So I'm a bit sad about that. Lucky for me, I didn't know the Sandman series before I bought the pattern. So this pattern is not connected to the author for me as much. So I still want to finish it, even though it's so tough to stitch. There are, like, you see, all of those are different shades of white and gray. Not trying to do that pun, but yeah, it's so hard to find where you are, what you stitched before, where to connect. It's so difficult. So I'm trying to start like doing the 10 by 10 blocks and working in those to hopefully have it easier for me to work with this. Maybe I even have to work on the diagonal and then just do like really strictly 10 by 10. I'm going to get 200 stitches into this. These are 400 more stitches put into this project, and actually that made me decide to abandon it. I want to restart it on another fabric actually. It looks really nice. But if you, I don't know, it's 28 count 10 stitch. I don't really like 10 stitch. It's not as fun to me. And with the stitching, with seeing this so hard, I mean, you see all these threads down here. They're all different colors. If you believe it or not, those are each a different color. And with these tiny stitches, it's so hard to see. And it's slowing me down. And starting and stopping is annoying. And there's way more confetti in this than I anticipated with all this subtle shading. And I'm too scared to really change it. So I'll probably try to get the DMC fabric, the 25 count, and do 1/1 full cross. I'm not really saving time. Besides, the black is going really fast, but everything else is going, I would say, as fast as with a full cross. And with those in this tiny space, it takes me so much time to find the spot where I have to be, and I really don't like stitching it, but I really want this on my wall one day. So I will restart it. I will not start it now. I don't have the fabric on here. I have so much else to do right now, so I will just put it aside. It's not an active WIP anymore. It's UFO'd. And yeah, one day when I have the DMC, I will give it another start. So one WIP down. This is Whisper by Melanie Dallon, I think. And it's a mini version that I cropped. It's on 25 count. No, it's 22 count Salta by Zweigart. This is a hardanger fabric, but I realized it's actually pretty good if you have like thick CXC or Iro floss that you find to be too thick on 25 count. And this is like the next bigger number you can find in fabric. No, there's 24 count Congress cloth, which I love now. But the 22 is also pretty good. I think the coverage is very nice. This is Max Floss mainly, I think, which is a bit thinner than CXC. But if you like CXC, you can really use this fabric. So I didn't work on it this year. I'm just realizing how many projects fall off all year when you have so many WIPs. It's crazy. And this is where it will end. So this is how big it will be. Let's do 200 crosses on here. Okay, we have an issue here. I can't show you on my phone because it's filming right now, but I can't shake the feeling that the floss I use, I started this when I first started with Max and CXC floss. I feel like the colors on here there are issues with the browns and the grays in here, and I didn't realize the problem with this when I started this project. And the gray is too light and too blue, and there are so many browns in here that are not dark enough, so the shading doesn't work. It looks washed out. In the preview in Pattern Keeper, looking at the Pattern Keeper, what I have stitched right here, this looks so washed out and flat, and in Pattern Keeper looks really good. So I think I was kind of aware of it because I was always hesitant to work on this. I never really picked it to work on it. It's just not 100% for me. And I'm pretty much at the start. And, you know, on one hand, I feel like I'm just in a tossing mood because I want less WIPs. But at the same time, I think the Snow White experience, the restart of Snow White, and how much of a difference in motivation this made for me, I think I learned a very important lesson there, to stop early with a project. If you don't like it in the first 2,000 crosses, within the first 2 or 3,000, I don't know how many there are. There are probably only around 2,000. If you don't like it in that time span, you won't grow to love it. So better stop now and make a change. So yeah, goodbye. This is the craziest WIP that I have, I think. I won't tell you where I got this pattern from. It was a gift, and I think it's AI. So yeah, nothing more to say about that. But this is 40 count, 1/1 10 stitch. Isn't that crazy? But I think it looks really good, actually. And I didn't stitch on it this year. I think I don't really have the urge to finish this. We will see how I will feel about it when I did the 400 half crosses. But I mean, I would never restart this piece. So with the others, I can see them like finished and I want to have them finished. But this was an experimental piece from the start. There was a German Flosstuber. She did the Jamie Stewart bookshelf with half crosses on 40 count. And at first I was like, oh my god, she's crazy. How can you do that? And then I thought to myself, maybe I should start that too. It was shortly after, and that's not unusual for me. I just realized this is the center, so this piece is only this big. But there's a lot of stitches in here still, because 100 stitches don't look like anything. 100 stitches are like this. Anyways, I look forward to working on this. I don't think I would ever restart it or do another project that way, but never say never, right? Yeah, so this is nothing I have to finish. I think pretty sure I will keep it in my stash and just work on it very rarely and keep it as an experiment. But yeah, let's go. So I finished 200 half crosses instead of 400. It's just so tiring to work on this. I'm just not really a big half cross fan in general. I think I won't do many half cross projects in the future. And yeah, I will keep this as a WIP. It was still kind of fun. It's an interesting project, and it's so interesting to look at how tiny those stitches are, and I'm very curious to see how it looks like in the end. I've worked up here a bit and down here a bit, and it looks like nothing, but it's 200. Next up, we're not halfway. I don't even know which project this is. It's like the 10th WIP or something. 9th, 10th, something like that. So this is by Mama Witch X Stitch. It's the cute strawberry ghost. Not sure what it's called. And the fabric is 40 count. I'm stitching 1/1. And it's like my deep space colorway, but with purple. And I absolutely love this color. I really have to release it for the shop. Now, my days it's been a week, I think, that I'm living like I'm filming, editing, making Instagram posts. This all takes so much time. It feels like I'm like 2 hours only filming and preparing projects and posting, and it's crazy how much time this takes. I didn't expect that. I told my boyfriend I don't have time for him, so he's not visiting for like over 10 days, I think now. I'm just, I felt so burnt out. I need to be in my little hermit mode and my little hermit hole. And I'm just stitching all day. And there's a big update for one of my favorite games right now. It's called Bellrite. I don't know. There are several gamers watching in case you don't know this game yet. Or please let me know if you play it. But it's a medieval survival game, but with RPG, and it's like 3D third person realistic style. So you have like a big main quest. It's not super deep or crazy, but it's pretty cool. It keeps you going, and there's quests in the world where you try to free towns that are suppressed by an evil leader who taxes them very high taxes, and there's military and militia everywhere and bandits everywhere. And so you're trying to become that like hero that liberates the land, and you build your own town from like the first tent, little wooden straw huts, and you try to work your way up and build like your own little town where you can manage your own militia. And during that time you're doing like crafting, micromanaging the jobs for the people you hire, and people only come for you if you do something good for the land and fulfill quests. And this game, I absolutely love it. It's a bit slow, I think, for some, but there's always a new quest, something new to do on the horizon that you can unlock. And there's always so much to do that I think they did it really well. The tech tree is huge and deep, and you can see your town thriving from a little camp to like really big town hall, big houses and everything. So it's so cool. And yeah, but you can sink like hundreds of hours into this before you even see the whole thing. So it's pretty expensive, but so that's what I'm doing right now. It's the middle of December. I'm just sitting here gaming all night. I was awake until 6 a.m. last night because I just couldn't stop. And I think it's usually I almost don't play video games anymore. I just don't have time for that with cross stitch and doing all the work and overtime and having like a social life and a relationship. But it feels like I'm catching up on that sloppy gamer life that some days I really miss. So I'm diving into this for like 2 weeks and do nothing but filming videos, cross-stitching, seeing nobody, and staying at home, being cozy, eating junk food. Well, I'm trying to eat salads so I don't get to gain too much, but yeah. Yeah, that's my life right now, but I absolutely love it. Sometimes you just need that. And then I'm already making big plans. So I was thinking I could do some admin stuff now, but I realized that I really need this time off where I'm just like doing nothing, doing really nothing. I'm not doing housework, I'm barely cooking. And it's so good to have this once in a while. Like for me, it's like once a year. And then maybe for a couple of days every like 4 months. This is just my way of really recharging. And I'm really doing this so excessively that at the end I'm really motivated to work and clean, get my life together again. And then I'm ready for the new year and for work again. And I already have so many ideas and plans for next year. It will be super exciting. But yeah, now let's talk a little bit about this. I really want to finish this next year. There's not much stitching left, just a little bit of greenery around here and finishing the little mushroom and the strawberries. This is what it looks like after 200 crosses, and there's only 720 crosses left. As much as I did this year, I stitched 700 crosses on this year. And I put into the purples. I love how they look. I changed them from the original Charlotte called for ones. Yeah, but still trying to finish this. This is Eat the Rich by Broomsticks and Bobbins. It's a freebie, but I have a long list of patterns I want to buy from her. And yeah, this is 40 count 1/1 again. This is again on Deep Space by me, dyed by me. And yeah, I think this could be an easy finish next year. It's not something urgent. Maybe I try to do it in January as well. I have plenty of new starts, as I just told you, so let's do the 200. So these are the floss cards I made myself for my project. Number 11, Contessa with Squid, or as Michelle Bandy said, it's Josephine. And yeah, absolutely love how this looks. Can't wait to stitch on it. In the last weeks, I've been thinking about this WIP a lot. And this is the center, by the way. This will be tiny, just like that. It's so small. I really want to make huge progress on her. And these are 300 stitches, actually. I couldn't stop again. I wish I could continue. I'm so excited to see how this turns out. It looks so good. And it's so fun to stitch. I totally enjoy this. And again, I realized that stitching with DMC on 25 count is just the best thing for me. But that's just me. Now, by the way, for plans, I thought about doing a WIP Go board, and I've worked on this. I also did some calculations for so I'm calculating the stitches I can do in a year by comparing my stitches done in the last 2 years. I've tracked those. And so when I make plans, I add them all up. I have a WIP list I will show you at the end of the video for when I have finalized my plans. But so I'm adding them all up to see if my plans are realistic. But now I realized that WIP Warriors, it's another Facebook challenge group that I've just heard here and there people mumbling about, because it's a private, no, it's like a closed secret group most of the year on Facebook. And they seem to have opened it now, if I understand correctly. They keep it open? Not sure if that's right. But they have like tons of challenges in there, and they have like a rule that you have to participate for at least 1,500 stitches in any challenge. They have lots of challenges you can do, and they also start an adventure game, which is also so curious. I'm already playing one. I'm already playing Utopia, if you know that one, and I'm a team leader there, and there's lots to do there. So I'm pretty busy with that group, and it takes really a lot of time from my everyday life, actually way more than I expected. But I'm also a bit of a nerd, so I think about our strategies, and I have a spreadsheet for us, which I don't need to have. So it's like a little bit my fault that I'm putting way too much time in there. Anyways, I just can't stop myself and started joining WIP Warriors now, and I can't wait to dive into all of the challenges. And I have a fear that I will be spend more time planning than actual stitching. I really have to restrain myself there a bit. But it's with video games. We keep buying like the huge video games, even though we didn't play the previous 100 super long with even bigger maps this time games, and we never get around to play them or finish them. So yeah, it's kind of a similar thing. But yeah, I love this WIP, and but I'm still looking forward to the next one. Please let me know in the comments if you are in any of the groups in the Utopia or WIP Warriors, or any other challenge group. Maybe I can join another one. I don't have enough to do. So I was supposed to work on project number 12, which is Atlas and Goose, by a pretty unknown pattern designer, and she hasn't put up patterns recently. But this pattern is pretty amazing, and she works a lot with the colors as well. So So, but it's rolled up because it's that stiff Congress cloth again, and it's pretty big. And I was really looking forward to it, but I've been searching my whole place for like 45 minutes for real, and I just can't find it. I mean, I cleaned up a lot in that time, so it wasn't for nothing, but I've checked like every project bag, everything, and I just don't know where to look. But I hope it's not lost. Maybe I accidentally sent it in someone's order that ordered the fabric. That's my biggest fear right now, but no one got back to me that they got a piece of fabric that was stitched on, and I can't imagine that I actually did that, because usually I work very thoroughly. But you know, that's the thoughts you have when you're really desperate, so when you start looking in the fridge for your cross stitch projects. But so I have to skip this for now. Let's go to the preview. So I'm just about, this is something I'm for my post on Instagram. Today is the 17th, and I'm just caught up until here to post WIPs and the videos, but I'm trying to catch up. Anyway, so I'm skipping this number 12 and going to number 13, which is the Tarot Unicorn. I'm actually looking forward to working on this too, and also on No Time Like the Present, the color conversion. I still haven't decided on the blue that I want to use, so I'm still only doing the black and filling the blue in later, but that's for the next part. So now let's start on the unicorn. This is what it looks like now. I didn't really work on it that much because I skipped and started the cat. But yeah, can't wait to finish up this one, because I want to only have one tarot card going. These are actually 800 stitches. Yay! So you just saw I only had this part and a little bit of the skull, I think, and I added everything else. I think I had this part, a little bit of this part as well. I finished the frame, like the black and white, and yeah, it was so much fun. I could pull off 200 stitches an hour, which is crazy good for me. I'm such a slow stitcher, but this went so fast. Good morning, it's the next day and the next project. This is project number 14. I'm more than halfway through. So yeah, I haven't decided on the companion or the colors on this. So I'm only stitching black for now. I want to do this in gold and dark blue with black. And I don't know which blue or which gold I want to use. I'm almost considering doing a test stitch with another smaller piece to figure out which colors I want to use, probably. I'm a perfectionist, if you haven't found out by now. So all the complaints that I have of fabric and floss and how stitches lie and how the colors are and changing things, yeah, that's me. I'm just very perfectionist. So yeah, take my criticisms with a grain of salt, because it could be just me and my perfectionism. So yeah, let's go. Hi, so these are actually 800 crosses. Almost looks like nothing. And this took me 2 days and a lot of thinking. I wasted like a whole night and tonight for maybe an hour just thinking about the colors I want to use for this. So initially I was thinking like a cosmic colorway, so I chose this with the help of the community. And I still like it, but then I thought I could add this DMC because I purchased like a whole lot of this. And then I realized this is too colorful for my taste with this golden. I don't know, for me it's not elegant, it's just too bright. I was scared it would look like too kitschy. I don't know. So now I still consider keeping this one because it doesn't have such a high amount of this bright blue. And then I also have this color. I'm just realizing I have to check how they are working on this fabric, because I realized that DMC is a bit thin on 40 count 1/1. especially on the white. Previously I've only stitched on dark fabric and it didn't bother me the way the fabric looks like. Also here I'm using my favorite black, it's the Max 310. And so I think this looks pretty elegant. This is 823 and black and gold. I like the combination, but I'm still thinking how I want the center to look like and what I want to fill the top border in. So I have 823 in here and you barely see the black ornaments in here. That's too dark for my taste now. Then I chose a bit of a lighter color, which was it? Oh yeah, it's Max Floss 823, so which is a bit lighter than the original DMC. That's close to the original DMC, and this is the Max Floss. Then I have then I use DMC, and it's another whole different color. It's 366. Nee, 336. And it's a bit thin. I don't like how thin it is, but this color would be awesome, but I don't have it in Iro. So this in Iro would be perfect, I think, for the border. Maybe I just stitch it with 2 strands, but then it might get just too bulky. Maybe I have to do another top stitch. I'm not sure yet. And oh yeah, this is the 336 of Iro, but it's also a bit lighter and a bit of a different color, as you can see here. So this is the perfect purple blue, but this is a bit too light maybe. But I realized also that in the border with the black on this narrow space, the floss in the end looks differently than on the skein. So I have to do more testing, which is a bit annoying, but this is my perfectionism. And then I was considering to do like all the dark blue. There are some blue flowers and contrast stitches in here, to do those with the 823, and then just do the center with the Granny Annie. Or I also have Nighty Night, which is 393 and 823, but I'm scared now that they are too thin for my taste for this fabric. Well, it's all a whole lot of crisis, but it's all due to my perfectionism. I know other people just started stitching and just pick 2 colors, and that's good, but I can't. I'm really trying to stop myself on a regular basis from overthinking and perfectionism, and I just can't. So this is GIMP. It's like a free Photoshop version. This is the pattern with a light border, and I added this and I think it looks pretty amazing along with the gold. And so where is it? I have several layers. So this is the picture with the dark blue, and I think this is my favorite actually. Maybe I will just do the dark Nighty Night in the center and do it like all really dark, and don't use Granny Annie and the bright blues at all. This is so elegant. I mean, the gold brings in lots of color. This is not called for, the gold, but I just wanted to add gold, and so I put gold here and there. And then we have the bright blue. Do you know what I mean when I think about that it's too bright? But I think in the middle it looks so good. But I mean, the shading will not look like that when stitched. So I don't know. If you look closely, here are some blues, and this is when I would do the border in a bright blue, and I don't really like it. So that's how I find my colorways. I just create layers where I add and change color, and then I just check in. I don't even know what the layers are. Oh yeah, I tried different kinds of where I want to put the gold and what color of gold. I also considered this, but I don't want to do that anymore. And yeah, I'm just sitting here for hours and hours, and I also considered gold here, but I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, so I think this is the gold that I want to do in the end. But yeah, I've considered this, but didn't want to do that. So when you're wondering, so I did all of the things. I had like a whole such dark colorway in between. It's crazy. But yeah, anyways, so I take a lot of time when I'm recharting things. I wish sometimes I didn't, but it's fun. It's like a whole separate hobby. This is project number 15. It's by Mama Witch X Stitch, the Swing Ghost. It's a super cute project and only 500 crosses left, and I'm really tempted to just finish it because I just did 800 for the last project. Why not just finish this? Okay, we're done with the cute Swing Ghosty. I did 400 crosses, only 100 and a bit some left, so yay! And I'm continuing with project number 16. It's the Nostalgic Tarot by Witchy Stitcher, the Priestess. And yeah, I did some more on this last time. I have only 3,000 crosses left, but which is still quite a bit to do. Yeah, let's see how much I want to do this time around. I don't know if you can hear the bells ringing, but I don't want to wait until it's over. So it's Christmas Day. For us in Germany, it's the 24th. We're celebrating Christmas on 24th in the evening, and that's where people go to church, and afterwards they unpack their presents. And then we have 2 holidays afterwards. So today, until midday, most of the shops are still open. So I've had a busy plan. Just a little story time. I've had busy plans this year for Christmas. I wanted to go on the 24th, which is today. I wanted to go to my partner. Then the next day is Christmas with a big meal with his family, where we have to drive like 2.5 hours to get there by train. And then the next day is a gift exchange party with friends of ours. And then the next day is a double birthday party where we were invited. And then the next day is the 28th is a friends of mine who are doing a dinner, like Christmas celebration, yearly end of year dinner, where everybody brings food and we cook together. And I already canceled this because I would have been on the road from the 24th to the 28th non-stop. So now, yesterday, I just made some last purchases to complete the presents. I've packed them all up. I just needed to get some finishing touches in today so I could go to my boyfriend in the evening. And then I woke up today and my throat is aching. Like, yeah, I have a cold now. I have a full-on cold. I don't know, maybe it could be COVID. It's not that bad, but I didn't really have COVID so far. So I don't know how it would be for me if I got it. Now, I don't want to spread this to friends and family, so I will stay home. I will have to cancel now all the plans. I looked forward to them. I know it would have been pretty exhausting, but it would be pretty fun. But it would have been so fun. I'm so sad and frustrated now. It's in the evening and I just try to get some food because I didn't even have food at home because I wasn't prepared to be at home over the holidays. And I could cry right now. I'm not a big Christmas person, but I was so looking forward to seeing everyone, spending time, eating the good food, and now I'm at home. I won't cook. I will eat like bread with butter for the next few days. I won't and eat like vitamins and tea. This is so frustrating, but I mean, I will try to stitch a lot. I will try to cut my Flosstube videos and everything. So yeah, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I feel so shitty right now. And this is my update on the cat. I have a family member which is in crisis right now, and we're talking on the phone a lot. So once I pick up a WIP, I get lots of crosses in. And these are 400, I think I did. Yeah, so I'm super happy. I completed the candles. I changed the orange because for me the contrast between the yellow and the orange was too much and I didn't like it. It was this kind of orange. So yeah, I start switching colors again. I can't stop myself. And yeah, worked on this, added the pink down here, added the black outline. And I really wish I could continue working on this. I don't want to stop it. I really want to finish those first tarot cards. But yeah, I have to move on to the next WIP. Yay! So I just cried about being alone tonight in my German video. I tried to avoid it this time again. This is Buttons and Beads, the Wizard. And these are the beads. This is the floss. This is my progress. You see, this is the planet down here. This is the hand with the magic crystal ball and his sleeve. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm so fascinated by buttons and beads, or by Mill Hill kits in general, but I'm struggling with the perforated paper. It's difficult to stitch as it's very fragile. I'm scared to bend it, I'm scared to rip it. So it's not as cool as I thought it would be. So I'm just keeping it for the end of the year and work on it once a year and not planning on it for the rest of the year. This is a just Christmas stitch finale project, and that's absolutely fine. But if in case you haven't heard it, there are news from Mill Hill. They are discontinuing perforated paper kits and they started using PVC or some kind of plastic. And I was skeptical at first because I only know the plastic canvas, and I'm not a big fan of that. They are so big and bulky. But I've seen first pictures of the new canvas from Mill Hill, and they seem to have their own kind of material, which looks pretty similar to the cardboard and it's just a bit thicker and just a bit bigger, but looks very elegantly small. So I have high hopes for the new materials, and I'm pretty happy that I haven't purchased all the perforated paper kits. Maybe this will be even better. I don't know. I will try. So let's start. Yay! I've made 400 crosses. As you can hear, my nose is fully closed now. It's the next date, the 25th, and yesterday I was super sad and angry about the situation, and today I'm kind of grateful that I can just sit and watch a series and yeah, relax. It's kind of needed. There's no other way for me to relax than when I'm sick. So yeah, it was super fun. I should have started adding beads from the start. This was way more fun than doing that stitching. I absolutely love how this looks. It looks so much better in real life than on the preview picture. It's always like that, right? With beads and specialty stitches, it always looks better in real life. And yeah, I added 400 crosses. I could keep going, to be honest. It's so much fun, but I still want to finish Stitch Finale. And I really tried to find the packet of golden beads that should go in here and here, around here. They're missing. I should really find them. I know that I found them in between and put them away. I thought I added them to my bag, but obviously I didn't. Yeah, so let's keep going. This was project number 17. This is Eternity by Brooks Books, in memory of Brooke Nolan. I started it last year when she died. And it's a free pattern, I think, on her website. I saved all of them to, yeah, and stitch. I want to stitch all of them in memory of her. And this is the first one. I haven't stitched on it since the start of last year. And I still have the angels, and I'm thinking I should maybe get some perforated paper for the angels. So yeah, let's see. I have to check how much I need for each angel. And those are 200 crosses. It's so interesting to stitch on this. This is totally different from my other projects, but you know, I love things like that. It's 1/1 on 32 count, which is interesting. And the DMC, I'm doing the pinks, I'm doing 2/1, but I have Iro flosses for the browns, which are a bit thicker. They work pretty well on 32 count, in my opinion. For these kinds of designs, it's totally okay if you see a bit of fabric. And yeah, can't wait to stitch on the other designs. This is the next project. We're going towards the end. This is Poison Garden by Living on the Rainbow, and I've finished the cover. I'm leaving the backside for later. And here are the pages I've done so far. This is the first page, second page. I love this plant anatomy. It has a lot of backstitch, and counting on this linen is a bit difficult, but it's doable. So yeah, I'm not much of a big fan of doing backstitch, but these look so delicate and pretty in the end, so it's all worth the work. And I have to start another page. I fell off this project because I started filming time-lapse videos of each and every single page, uploading it to Instagram, and I really wanted to make a series. But it stressed me out so much because it's pretty difficult to film while stitching. So, I mean, I have this filming helper now that I can be hands-free while filming in front of me, but still you have to look beside the camera or through the lens or through the phone screen to stitch, and it's not as cozy as without it, and you have to stick to it, keep going on one project without standing up and you know, all the things. So I realized that I avoided the project because I knew I wanted to continue the series, but at the same time want to film it and not film it because it is not as comfortable. And I'm also doing a color conversion with takes some thinking. And these are the colors I'm using so far, and I'm trying to not add too many to those and keep it like a little bit more it's not really monochromatic, but you know what I mean. So let's see. I don't even know what the next page will bring. Let's start. And those are 200 crosses worth of stitching. I'm always counting 2 half crosses to be 1 cross stitch for my stitchy games. So I made the outline, which went pretty well. And I've changed the underlining to be a back stitch with a thick, it's the same floss as this one with the PH01. I absolutely love this floss. It's so super glossy, and I think it looks a little bit finer. And yeah, off to the next project. So this is Atavism by Unconventional Cross Stitch, Erin Fowler. I've purchased this years ago. This was my first unconventional X pattern. And so I have a project. I filmed a whole long Flosstube video for the start. I started this at the end of June this year, and I haven't posted about it because I like to first upload the Flosstube and then do the posts on Instagram. So I have a bit of a surprise for you, so you don't already have seen everything that's going to be in my Flosstube. But I know I'm overthinking because nobody is as much on Instagram at all. But anyways, I won't release the video because, I mean, it's only in German, and I'm talking to you now, I'm telling you now everything about this project. So this is a custom dyed dye experiment I did this summer, and I'm thinking about releasing this as a regular fabric to my shop because I absolutely love this. This is 25 count, and usually 25 count never gets dyed that way, but I've made a little trick in here. And so this is like, it's a dark burgundy marbling with dark red fabric, and I think it looks so cool. I don't know about the name, but I'm thinking it's giving Dracula, maybe. I'm considering calling it Dracula. And so I removed the background. I wanted to start this for a long time, but I never found a solution of what fabric I want to stitch this on. So I've put it into my program, photo editing program, and removed the background and tried several different background colors and realized that dark red looks pretty good. So I'm not stitching any of the background. I've loaded it into Saga, which is like the Russian pattern keeper. It's been around for very much longer than pattern keeper, and it's a bit more complicated. It has more functions, but it's for free now because you obviously can't buy anything from Russia, which is good. But yeah, so the developers of this app have uploaded their app for free to download, so you can get it for free. So I wanted to try it because I've seen people use it quite a bit, and I'm curious. I have to try everything, every fabric, everything. I just have to try it all. So yeah, in Saga I marked off as stitched every part of the background. So I kitted it without the floss of the background. You can see how much floss you have left for what is unstitched. So I kitted with the help of that program. And yeah, I'm not stitching the background. And I stitched lots of stitches into this. Look at that. And I haven't shown you. This is my surprise for you. So 25 count, I'm using DMC floss mainly and a little bit of Max floss because Max floss is quite thin. But to be honest, on 25 count, I really prefer only using DMC, but there are not that many colors in this project, obviously. And the interesting thing is there is no black again in the project. So all of this is dark blue and brown, which reminds me of the Dracula piece. And I didn't like it that in that instance, but here it works pretty well. Maybe Gecko Rouge and Unconventional X use the same software, and maybe that's why I like both of their patterns. Maybe that's the reason. So yeah, I like how this is going. As you can see, this is where we are at. It's a bit difficult if you don't have like a top right corner to work off from. So I've started in the middle and then worked my way a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left. But at the same time, it was a fun challenge. So I couldn't really stop stitching because I wanted to reach the far left side of the design of the head. And so you can see how it looks really good. I think this is even the mock-up and it looks pretty amazing. I'm curious how the face will turn out, but I have lots of darkness and stitching, but it's really easy to do. There are not many color changes in here, not much confetti, so it goes pretty fast. But it has lots of you don't really have big blocks of color. It has a lot of shading within, but with few colors. So yeah, as you can see, those are the part threads. They're not too many. Yeah, I really want to make a huge dent into this. And it's a bit difficult because there are some orange highlights, and it's partly from the background and partly from I don't really know sometimes how to separate them. So here it's like a beetle that she has on her head, and it has like hairs down here. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to distinguish background and what's from the bug head. But yeah, I'm just going step by step, figuring it out. And even if I stitch a little bit too much, the background is similar enough with the browns of the original background that it blends into each other. So if I do stitches that don't belong to her head, it's okay. It helps blending into the fabric, actually. Yeah, I'm so excited about this project. I really love it's a horror piece, but at the same time, it's a cute fairy. And from the start, this is so, for me, it looks like it's a heart, but it's actually not a heart that she's eating. It's so fascinating to me with her cute fairy wings and her petite figure. And at the same time, she's just so gory. That's so cool. And I put 200 crosses in here, made 2 squares, and I really love the square method for this project. So this is another new project. This is project number 25. No, it's 21. So 5 projects left to do. This is again on 25 count Congress cloth. And I think this is the first one I did on here. This is from Verdanta. Rose in the Heart is the pattern name. We're doing this as a cell together with It's Just a Face and Emanon Crafts. Emanon has a Flosstube channel. I'm not sure about It's Just a Face, but they're both on Instagram, and on my Insta I will do a cell post very soon about this. This is only 151 by 200 crosses. This is the middle, the center of the piece. It's super easy and fast to stitch. The result is amazing, I think, and that's because there's some backstitch involved in here. But I mean, oh well, you have like the full coverage experience, but you can actually finish it. That's what I'm always saying. It's so satisfying, and the more large full coverage projects I have in my rotation, the more I value those small things that I can finish in a lifetime, because it's just too much fun to start new projects, and I just can't do that with the huge ones. So before I do the stitches, the 200 stitches, these are the flosses. I'm testing out new possibilities of organizing. I'm not sure if I'm sticking with this, but for smaller projects, I think I see myself doing it this way. So I've sorted them by color, actually, and put them on these acrylic tags. They're clear, but they have like a foil, what is it called, on top, which I did not remove. I rarely remove those things from electronics because I feel like they stay longer new. And yeah, so here are the terracottas, the purples, the golden, cream, brown colors, and here it works pretty well. So when I'm working on a section, I'm just pulling only a few of these from that big chunky ring, binder ring. And yeah, once I'm finished with the section, so I don't have to go through all the floss. When I'm working in the sky, I just need the blues and grays. So yeah, it worked pretty well so far. And another thing that's interesting on here is that I'm doing a mix of 10 stitch, and I'm working with Max Floss and DMC Floss. So, and I'm working with a mix of full crosses and half crosses. So the sky is half crosses 10 stitch, which is a bit faster for blocks of color. And that's, I think, what I want to do going forward, is doing like full crosses for the motifs. And yeah, and I don't really think you can see it from close up. You can see it maybe a little bit, but from just a bit further you don't really see any difference. But this is dependent on the fabric you use. I've had other fabrics where you can see the difference, so that's another reason why I love the 25 count Congress cloth, is because this works so well with different brands of flosses and different techniques. And this has mixed colors, so that's another reason why I'm doing it this way, because with the mixed flosses I'm just doing half cross and mix one strand of each color, so I can still pull it off on such a small count. So yeah, I'm excited. And another thing, I've discovered these bags, and I'm going to get them for my shop. They are amazing. So I've used these plastic bags so far, the zipper bags, which every one of us has, and I've realized that over time the plastic just flakes off and gets brittle and yeah, doesn't look great. So, I mean, this is another plastic bag basically, but it seems to be very sturdy and with a nice mesh material. I've had this on the road with me on the train, and it's really amazing. You have like this little front pocket. I mean, it's not little, it's huge. Front pocket for your supplies and a main pocket for the project, and it folds up very flat, but it can get pretty wide. So with like the fabric bags, they're most of the time they have to be padded to look good and be like stand, and they're just too much material. I don't have much space, and I take them with me in my bag for the weekend when I'm going on trips or to my boyfriend's. So I need bags that don't take up much room. So that's why I'm always looking for thin materials that are still sturdy, and I like that they are see-through so you can see the project. So this fits in my just IKEA storage bins, and it even fits my favorite Q-snap size, which is the 11 by 8 inch, I think. And I just mixed 2 frames. This is not the original, but yeah, works the same with everything. And even with the project on, you can still fit this comfortably in this bag. So I absolutely love this. I'm never going to get more of the cheap plastic bags. I'm always going for these ones. And I've contacted the manufacturer of these, and I'm getting some here because I need a bunch, and I know that if you love them, you will also need a bunch. So here we go. Let's start with 200 crosses. We are at an end. I can't believe it either, but it's the 30th today, and I'm probably going to my boyfriend's tomorrow, so I will have to cut, upload, and finish filming today to finish this on time. So these are 200 crosses, and I absolutely love how this turns out. I really want to see how this is going to look like, and I want to finish this for next year. This is my tiny cat from the Teeny Weeny Witchy Stitcher. Yeah, like Patreon special she had before October. And I only wanted to stitch this one, but this is such a good project for traveling. It fits like in a bag. And so because I think I won't make it through my parade because it's so close to the end of the year. And so I'm skipping this. I will not add any 200 stitches to this because I really love this for travel stitching, and I don't want it to end and sit at home and work on it while I could do this on the train so well. This is a new start. I've already started this in November, but I'm restarting it now in a different fabric. This is 25 count Lugana, and this is a memorial piece for the death of Sage of Night Spirit Studio. She passed away of cancer in this year, just last month, I think, in October. And I started this in November, but I want to use a different fabric, so this is another new start. The piece is Winter Mausoleum, and there are 4,348 crosses in this, so it's like a medium, small-ish pattern. So yeah, I want to get memorial pieces of designers that I really like. So I'm thinking as I have with Brooke Nolan, I will have a memorial piece for Sage in my WIP rotation as well. So they're just always a part of my WIP rotation and always remembered. So yeah, let's start. So to finish up filming today, I will have to skip the last 3 projects. So I wanted to skip this anyways as it's my travel project, but then Snow White, Blueberry J and Olivia's Hydrangeas have to yeah, have to stop, have to pause. I won't stitch on them this year anymore. But I mean, they are very recent starts, in which I put lots of crosses. You have just seen them in my last video. I've made some reels about them on Instagram. I mean, I'm totally hyped to stitch on all of them. But I have to go now. But one last thing I can do with you is my planning. I've finished up planning, so yay! Here we go. Planning the year and counting my stitches always gives me such a reality check at the end of the year. Phew, so let's start. This is my plans from last year. I had planned to finish Luna Witch, these smalls, and one of the tarot cards. I made serious progress on this tarot, and in Stitch Finale, some progress in here. But yeah, as you can see, I have my 5 finishes, which I've made a video about. So let's continue. I'm planning to do WIP Go next year. I finally decided on it, and it was really fun when I did it, and it made for such good posts on Instagram. This is the design I chose for next year, and this is my board, but I will go into detail just in a second. I also have my designs for January, and the first 2 numbers already were picked, and I did want to work on the Chatelaine in January anyways, so that worked out well, and that was actually the reason why I said, okay, let's go. This works very good. Next up, let me see. So these are, I really like, this is Canva. I really like to organize my projects in here. I'm also organizing my stash in here. I started to do, like, once I purchase a pattern, I put it into like a little grid so I can have a better view of what patterns I have. And then I sort them by month and year and have corresponding folders where I can find them. But anyway, so this is my WIP list for the start of 2026. These are my 24 WIPs. I have my planned finishes, just like last year. I like to have these little neon outlinings to mark them. So I have still like over 10k to go on Luna Witch. And then I want to finish those again. I seriously think I can. Then again, the tarot cards, I want to do both. The mini ghost, the pine cone, the book. Yeah, I have to take that out. That was a bit crazy because I just checked the numbers and there's no way that I am going to finish this project. Then the tiny cat and blueberry jay, which is still pretty big, and the mausoleum. So these are my plans. I want to do a monthly of 6,000, which is from the statistics, which is a very realistic goal. I'm most of the time stitching between 4,000 and 7,000. I will show you my numbers in just a second. So I have like 2 projects from WIP Go that are around 1,000 crosses. Then I want to have a finished piece in my rotation and do around 1,000 for that. Maybe more, maybe less. These are not set numbers. I could have like a WIP Go that's like 2,000 and then not do any of those. And then the other 3,000 are free to choose from. I can, if I have not already 2 full coverage in my WIP Go, I can pick one from the full coverage section, and then I will have stitch alongs coming in, and yeah, free choice. So that's 2,000 plan for that each month. Just so I have, like, I think for me the sweet spot really is like 4 to 5 WIPs per month. So, and 6,000 is very realistic. So I think that's a good basis to choose WIPs from. I mean, that's another reason why I stopped doing Stitch Finale now for the last 3 WIPs is that, but I have some thoughts in just a second, is that I don't like to switch WIPs all that much. I think it takes a lot of time to set them up, even it's not that much time, but still. Then So I have two pools to choose WIPs from. I have the WIP Go, I have the free choice, and then I have the finish pool, which is for these 1,000 crosses. They're the ones I just outlined up there in the previous year. And then I have the full coverage in at a glance. I don't really want to work on that one. That's just like a testing piece, but the other ones are up for grabs, up for choice each month. And so this is my WIP Go. I have put on here my oldest WIPs. So I've worked from oldest to newest. And as you can see, I have my Chatelaine, I have Gamer. So while I did the Stitch Parade, Stitch Finale, I put in these projects when I thought I really want to get them out. I have twice the Teresa Wenzler with 500 each. That brings me to a goal of 1,000 a year. And yeah, I have also some of the older ones with 4,000. Then I have 5 times Luna Witch, because 5 times 2,200 gives me the amount I need to finish her. And so this is kind of my oldest big projects only on this WIP Go board. The exceptions are Atlas, once I finish that, and 2 times Contessa. All the others are really old. Rather old. Oh yeah, I have 2 times No Time Like the Present, because this always falls off. I never pick this, but when I do, when I work on it, I really like it. So I have to, yeah, there are some WIPs that always fall off. Then, so my thoughts for Stitch Finale next year are that I may want to start the challenge in November next year, not in December. Initially, I thought I would personally start it at November 1st, so I have like all the posts ready, like, or half the posts ready in December. But then I thought, I mean, we are all pretty stressed in December, why not start in November? And some people have like so many WIPs that they can't put them all in 1 month. So maybe more people can participate if we start on November 1st next year. But that would mean for me that all the posting and planning and pre-announcing and preparing would be in October. But I could like, November could be like more of a preparation month. So yeah, I mean, anyone can do as they please, but these are my thoughts for next year, because I know next year I will forget how stressful this was. So yeah, there's just a grid. Then I have a starting photo of all my WIPs of where they are now at the beginning of the year, so that next year I can easily catch those for before and afters once I do my WIP parade. So then we have statistics for 2025. I will post those to Instagram very soon. Yeah, so I made 69,000 stitches. These are over the year 76, 61. So I'm right in the middle this year. It's been a pretty good year. I think I'm satisfied. I didn't expect there to be so many stitches in 2023, to be honest. I was thinking that I would have stitched more each year. But yeah, there you go. So you see 6,000 is a reasonable number to calculate my goals each month. Then I have the 8 starts. 8 new starts is pretty much. But I have finished 5, and I have 2 UFOs, so that's why I have 1 WIP less than at the start of the year. I mean, better than nothing, right? And those are my top 3 projects. This is Secret Grove with 12,000, and there's another cell by Needle Art Designs coming up, which is probably as big as that one, and I really want to stitch it because this was so much fun. Yeah, they are just very great designs. Then the Book of Shadows, which was mainly restitching the whole cover in the new colorway. And then I have finished Dark Queen of the Earth, which was quite old, I think 3 years maybe. There was not even that much missing. So yeah, pretty good year. I really I'm at the point where I think I really wish I could go at least down to 20 WIPs or even less, but I'm saying that every year and I can never make it work. So I'm glad that I'm not exploding too much. My WIP count is not exploding too much. I really don't want to go over the 25. I mean, I have those overviews and they just don't look great if you get like here, they're 26. They are all crammed in here. So 25 is like the maximum sweet spot, I think. So those are the plans that will be coming up on Instagram with all the details. I've just filled in the last ones because I have been planning to work on them. So this is how I plan my project. This is just Google Sheets. It's like an Excel spreadsheet from Google. I know I shouldn't, but I use most of my work I use Google Sheets because I can work everywhere on it. But anyways, so this is my old file with all the tracking. I mean, each month I put in here what I stitched on, and then I have just sums that automatically calculate the monthly total and the total for the year what I stitched in a year. That's how I get my numbers. That's how I'm tracking. So it's just one time a month that I'm putting my numbers in here. Let's see how my plans are. Here you can see I keep track of my old numbers from the previous years. I just have to fill this in. So this is 2026. I didn't really change anything. Oh well, I added my total stitches and stitches left to do, which helps me in planning of how much, if I want to finish something, how much I have to plan for it, because I so widely overestimated or underestimated Luna Witch. It's at 20,000 stitches, and I wouldn't have thought that. Then I have made some plans for finishing that I just can't keep. I have my yearly goals down here. Here are the numbers, 11,000 of what I need to do to finish those. These are why I have these calculations up here. And then I wanted to do 5,000 for every project, for every full coverage project initially, but I had to tone it down because I have my goals here. I sum it up of how much, well, this is wrong. This is 24. So I sum them, and as you know, I have made like 67K this year. How many did I do? 69 stitches. And these are 64 stitches only for the project that I have without any new starts. But I know I will start a Chrysa Bug cross stitch, and I will probably maybe restart another old project. And I want to do a 20 count small project from Flossie Fox probably. And then I want to do the Cell by Needlelot Designs. And maybe there's another Dark Queen coming from Autumn Lane Stitchery this year. They didn't specify that, but I'm just hoping, because they were estimating to release one at the end of this year, and it didn't work out because Erin is at a sole job, but I've talked about that in a previous video. So there might be like 20 to 30K coming in new starts on top of that. So I'm way above what I calculate. But that way I know that I can't finish the night project. I realized they are still 27,000 crosses and I can never do that. And then I realized, I mean, my full coverages are pretty small. Like Contessa they are all around 47,000, 50,000. 53 for Atavism. Olivia is 50,000. Snow White is 90,000. Gypsy Firefly is 200, is like 130,000. Oh no, it's 145 still missing. So that's already like 3 times the size because it's actually a regular, not a mini. But yeah, so I have to tone down my expectations of what I can do next year, and I have to realize how little I can put into my full coverage project if I keep starting new things and not stitching more. And I don't really want to stitch more. I'm already spending way too much time doing cross stitch instead of doing like healthy things like going outside and move my body, which I want to do, of course, more next year, as we all want to do. But yeah, there you can see I already did some. I have to update the numbers down here. I have some percentages going of how much I stitched, which will be calculated automatically, and I have like a progress bar that will pop up here, and the same I want to do for the planned finishes, but I will have to update that as well. Those are previously done things, numbers, but yeah, so here you go. Now you know how I'm planning my next year. Please let me know what your plans are for next year, what programs you use to calculate, how you organize your WIPs. Do you put as much time and energy and creativity into this? Do you have maybe an analog book or planner to do that? I would love to read from you how you're planning your WIPs, and maybe I will get some inspiration for that for maybe this year. I can still change my plans, of course. Thank you so much for watching. This video is not monetized. I hope you don't see any ads. Let me know if you still see any ads. You shouldn't. But thanks for coming back. And oh yeah, just one last thing. I will not be able to make probably much more English videos in next year. So I'm contemplating to do one stitch finale like WIP Parade in summer if I find the time, which I could film, but you will still get like 1 to 2 videos in English on this channel if I have like anything special, anything fun, projects or whatever. But mainly the vlogs will be in German because I don't have the time to film 2 videos and cut 2 videos. I'm expecting to cut for these 2 long videos. I still try not to edit as much, but I still have to combine the clips and like shorten it a bit and sometimes adjusting light, brightness and stuff. So I guess I will be 4, 5, no, realistically, I will work 6 to 7 hours on these 2 projects in my free time without getting any money from it. Just so you know, that's the reason I can't do that as much. But I will see you on Instagram and I will see you in the comments. Don't forget to tell me your plans and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!